let's turn to the stock market. Some news for you from there. Eckow Afedzie is retiring in November as the managing director of the stock exchange after 31 years of service. Here's more in this report. Eckow Afedzie can be associated with many transformational projects at the Ghana Stock Exchange, including coordination of automated trading as well as clearing and settlement of the exchange. He also coordinated the establishment of the alternative and fixed income markets. Having served the Ghana Stock Exchange for more than 3 decades since its establishment, Mr. Afedzie is retiring at a time when the Ghanaian Bourse has experienced strong growth and outstanding performance. At the just-ended annual general meeting, he announced his retirement to council members and expressed appreciation to all stakeholders for their support. He has been speaking to Joy Business about the performance and the agenda ahead for whoever takes over from him.
2021 certainly was an improvement over the financials for 2020, about 32% increment in terms of the net profit. And you heard the chairperson talking about it, the fact that that's been the highest in our 31-year history. Going forward, we need to make sure that we sustain this, and as we move towards becoming a company limited by shares, and therefore having shareholders, we need to even work harder to make sure that we can generate the revenues in order to be able to pay dividends to the shareholders.
Eckow Afedzie was appointed as acting managing director in 2019 when his predecessor, Kofi Yamwa, retired and subsequently confirmed in 2020 as the managing director of the local Bourse. He had been the deputy managing director for 10 years, having worked with the exchange since its inception in 1990. Well, with that, we head to Patrick Edemagama, who is head of trading at Republic Securities. Good afternoon to you, Patrick. Before we kickstart, I'd like a few words from you on the legacy of Eckow Afedzie after he retires in November. What sort of impact has he made on the Ghana Stock Exchange?
Well, good afternoon. We've seen tremendous impact under his regime. We've seen that there were major listings on the market that gave us some international exposure. We also saw some massive integrations with regards to the markets and the growth in the fixed income market. And that was a bit massive to be noticed. And then we also saw that at the broker's point of view, there were improvements in the trading terminals that actually allow for easy trading as a broker. We saw that also under his tutelage, there were young brokers that have more energy to impact investors. One major improvement we saw under him was the media engagement, improved media engagement. You know, the market was lacking that effectiveness where investors were not getting informed. But under him, we saw that media engagement that improved investors' reaction to news on the market.
Yeah, and let's turn to performance though. Currently on the stock market, we understand there are selling pressures on 2 financial stocks. Tell us about what you're hearing and what we expect this week.
Well, for the stock market, we've seen that last week there were a lot of selling pressures that drove the market down as 3 equities dropped: SIC, MTN, and EcoBank. For the financial stock, we saw that there have been a lot of selling pressures in them, especially EcoBank Ghana, where it dropped 30% to 6.5 Ghana cedis per share. These selling pressures are massive, but what I noticed was that it was not enough to say that this is going to drive the stock further down. We expect to steady again and see what is actually moving these equities down, apart from the interest of investors in the fixed income market.
And on the treasury bills market, 11 consecutive weeks of oversubscription. What's the news from there?
Well, again, we saw the 91-day treasury bill each now by 89 basis points to clear at 28.6. As high as 29% were accepted. And then we saw the 182-day treasury bill also inching up by 65 basis points to clear at 29.9. And then we saw some rise in the 364-day bill, which cleared at 29.5. With all this, we are seeing that there is still massive demand for the 91-day treasury bill, which took about 76.2% of the bids against the 0.8% for the 182-day, and then 3.1% for the 365-day bill.
Anything else we should know this week?
Yes, so for this week, we should expect increased activity in the auction coming because of the excess funds on the market. We've seen that because of the cancellation of the 2-year and the 5-year tapping, investors will be looking to place their monies in a very short-dated instrument. So we should expect marginal increase in the volumes traded for this week.
All right, Patrick Edem Agama, I appreciate your time with us on the marketplace. You're watching.